Thomas Alva Edison was born on February 11, 1847, in Milan, Ohio. He was the youngest of 7 children in the Edison family. His father, Samuel Edison Jr., was a Canadian-born political activist and later a businessman. His mother, Nancy Elliott Edison, was a school teacher who had a strong influence on young Thomas's curiosity and love for learning. When Thomas was 7 years old, the family moved to Port Huron, Michigan. There, his formal education lasted only a few months. His teacher considered him addled, but his mother believed in him and decided to teach him at home. She encouraged him to read widely, especially books on science and engineering. As a boy, Edison showed a fascination with experiments. He set up a small chemistry lab in his family's basement where he tested simple reactions. At the age of 12, he began selling newspapers and candy on the Grand Trunk Railroad between Port Huron and Detroit. While working, he also published his own small newspaper called the Grand Trunk Herald. He printed it on the train, the first known newspaper produced on a moving train. He used his spare time to experiment with chemicals and electrical equipment in the baggage car. But one day, a fire started when a bottle of phosphorus fell and exploded. The conductor threw Edison and his equipment off the train. Despite the setback, his passion for experimenting only grew stronger. Around his mid-teens, Edison began to lose his hearing, possibly from scarlet fever or repeated ear infections. He later said that his deafness helped him concentrate better because noise didn't distract him. At 16, Edison became a telegraph operator after saving a 3-year-old boy from being struck by a runaway train. The boy's grateful father, a station master, taught him telegraphy. Edison worked as a telegraph operator in various cities across the United States, learning the new electrical technologies that were transforming communication. In 1868, at the age of 21, Edison received his first patent for an electric vote recorder designed to speed up voting in legislative assemblies, but no one wanted to buy it. Lawmakers preferred slower voting, allowing time for political maneuvering. Edison learned an important lesson: invent only what people need and will use. He moved to Newark, New Jersey, and began improving telegraph equipment. He developed the duplex telegraph, which could send 2 messages at once over the same wire, and the quadruplex telegraph, which could send 4. These inventions brought him financial success and established him as a leading innovator in electrical communication. By 1876, Edison was ready to create something bigger. He built a research laboratory in Menlo Park, New Jersey, one of the world's first industrial research centers. Here, teams of assistants worked together under Edison's direction. He often stayed awake for long hours, working and experimenting day and night. In 1877, Edison invented the phonograph, a device that could record and play back sound. For the first time in history, the human voice could be captured and replayed. Newspapers called him the Wizard of Menlo Park. The phonograph astonished the public and made Edison a worldwide celebrity. But his most famous invention was yet to come. Edison wanted to create a safe, practical, and affordable electric light. Many inventors before him had tried, but the filaments burned out quickly. After testing thousands of materials, Edison and his team discovered that a carbonized bamboo filament could last more than 1,200 hours. On October 21, 1879, Edison successfully demonstrated his incandescent light bulb. Soon after, he built an entire electrical power system to deliver energy to homes and businesses. In 1882, he opened the first commercial power station, the Pearl Street Station in New York City, lighting up dozens of buildings and marking the birth of the electric age. Edison also formed the Edison Electric Light Company, which later evolved into General Electric, one of the world's largest corporations. But not every venture succeeded. Edison's experiments in iron ore milling failed, costing him a fortune. His stubborn personality sometimes led to conflicts, most famously with Nikola Tesla and George Westinghouse in the War of Currents. Edison favored direct current, or DC, while Tesla and Westinghouse promoted alternating current, AC. Eventually, AC became the global standard because it could travel long distances more efficiently. Despite setbacks, Edison's spirit of experimentation never stopped. His laboratories produced countless innovations, from the carbon transmitter used in early telephones to the alkaline storage battery to early motion picture technology. In the 1990s, Edison's laboratory developed the kinetoscope, a device that allowed people to watch short moving pictures through a peephole viewer. This invention helped lay the foundation for the modern film industry. Edison's company built one of the first film studios, known as the Black Maria, in West Orange, New Jersey. By the early 2000s, Edison had become both a scientist and an industrial leader. He employed hundreds of workers in his West Orange laboratory complex, which became even larger and more advanced than Menlo Park. In his lifetime, Edison earned 1,093 U.S. patents and hundreds more in other countries. His name became synonymous with invention. Yet Edison often reminded others that genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. He worked with discipline, testing idea after idea. He was known for saying, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." In his later years, Edison focused on improving storage batteries for electric cars, developing better cement manufacturing processes, and exploring ways to preserve plants and rubber. He also became a close friend of automobile pioneer Henry Ford, who greatly admired him. Ford later built a replica of Edison's Menlo Park laboratory at his museum in Dearborn, Michigan. Thomas Edison's personal life was also eventful. He married Mary Stilwell in 1871, with whom he had 3 children, Marion, Thomas Jr., and William. After Mary's death in 1884, he married Mina Miller in 1886, and they had 3 more children, Madeline, Charles, and Theodore. Mina remained with him until his death. Edison continued working well into his 80s. Even as his health declined, he spent time in his lab almost every day. On October 18, 1931, Thomas Alva Edison passed away at his home, Glenmont, in West Orange, New Jersey. He was 84 years old. News of his death spread across the world. President Herbert Hoover requested that Americans turn off their lights for 1 minute in his honor. The gesture symbolized the light that Edison had brought to humanity. Today, Edison's home and laboratory are preserved as the Thomas Edison National Historical Park. His inventions paved the way for modern electric power, recorded music, film, and industrial research. Thomas Alva Edison changed how the world lives, works, and communicates. His story remains a reminder that great ideas often grow from endless curiosity, persistence, and belief in progress. He once said, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time." And perhaps that's the truest lesson from the life of Thomas Edison, that success belongs not to the person who never fails, but to the one who never stops trying. From a small boy experimenting with chemicals in a train car to the man who illuminated the world, Thomas Alva Edison's journey remains one of the most inspiring stories in human history. His legacy lives on every time we switch on a light, play a song, or watch a movie. Thomas Alva Edison, the man who turned darkness into light and ideas into reality.